Were there red flags that people around you missed when you look back now?
Yeah, hindsight, everything is 2020, of course, but there were definitely red flags that went missed. Around the time that I really started to struggle, my depression really took hold. I began sneaking out, hanging out with people who I otherwise had no interest in hanging out with, and my baseline behaviors really just went haywire. And because those behaviors were becoming prevalent, my parents, obviously not having any knowledge about the warning signs to be aware of with mental health challenges with youth, they were completely in the dark. So they assumed that those types of behaviors were your typical teenage behaviors. And so I was disciplined, and getting in trouble because of those behaviors only made me feel worse with the whole situation.
Yeah, so they confused depression with rebellion,
Yeah.
and which is an easy mistake to make.
Yeah.
When you're looking at it then, like you say, hindsight's 2020. Was there a threshold that you crossed when you knew, okay, I'm doing this?
To give some context, a week before my attempt, I was in New York City on a modeling trip. A local photographer reached out to me and invited me on the trip. And it was 8 girls. Some of these girls I had never met before. And on the trip, I felt like my joy had returned, and I finally felt like myself again. And so I feel like having gone on that trip and getting to experience how good life could be, and having something to compare it to back home, I felt like was sort of a catalyst for me, and maybe like the threshold that I stepped over to making this decision a reality.
Mm-hmm. And once you made the decision, did you feel like there was no turning back?
100%. I had instant regret. Immediately after I made the attempt, I knew that I had made a mistake, that it's not what I wanted to do. And I was incredibly scared to die and have no one know my story, have no one really know the truth and the real reasons that led me to that feeling. I was terrified.
Mm-hmm. And if I assume it's safe to say that if you had that to do over again, you wouldn't do that.
It would look so much different. I would have picked up the phone and called my mom and expressed to her everything I had been thinking and feeling, and I would have just been completely vulnerable and transparent with her. And I know 100% that they would have gotten me the help that I needed.
Yeah. And I have a few questions that I want to ask you in a real focused way. Can I have a chair, please? This is something that's really a matter of dealing with all the young people that are watching this right now. Because as people look at you right now, you're obviously a beautiful young woman, and you're intelligent and well-spoken. This has been absolutely hell for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely the hardest thing that I've ever gone through and continue to choose to go through.
What's been the hardest thing?
I'm an empath, so I feel like the hardest part about it all has been wanting to save everyone, because I know I've been there, and I know what it's like, and I know how it feels to feel like if you talked about your feelings or your problems, no one would care. They would write you off, think you're looking for attention, all of those things. I know what it's like. And so I feel that from other young people. And I think the most difficult part about it is knowing that I can't save everyone.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.